racism and you had internalized racism. First, I want to go into the internalized racism and then go into the racial microaggressions, okay? And one of the things about racial microaggressions is this. Well, first I'm going to go to bang. Let's go into identity models, right? Now, for the sake of time, because I only have like 25 minutes, I was going to go into every identity model there was, as far as Black, Asian, Latino. However, this one right here is the template and is universal. So if you ever ask me back, if you like this enough, I'll come back and I'll do the other identity model. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to whiz through this real quick. But what you'll see is all the people of color go through these stages, right? And the interesting thing is this is, with other developmental models, they're more linear, right? So if you go to Erickson, if you go to Strasbourg, if you go to Chickering, if you go to Marcia, they're all linear. This one is more circular, right? So you can go in, out, backwards, forward. That's why my lovely student assistant, she helped me with this. Because it's something about when you get a doctorate, you just don't know how to do this stuff no more. So you just got to hire somebody to do it. But the first stage, I'm going to talk like it's linear, but I just want to throw out that disclaimer, right? So the first stage is pre-encounter. Pre-encounter is this: the person of color identified with the dominant society. So what they do is they accept their dominant society's attitudes and beliefs about them. So there's a lot of self-hate going on here. So you will have a lot of people saying, well, I'm not Latino, I'm American. I'm not Black, I'm American. We're all Americans, right? So that's when they're usually in the pre-encounter, right? So they have a lot of self-hate. Then something happens to them where they start realizing that race is an issue, okay? I like to bring up, and it's going to be a little touchy situation, O.J. Simpson, right? I've heard all the women go, ooh. O.J. Simpson. For the longest time, O.J. Simpson was walking through America, just living life his hard time, and then all of a sudden, some crazy thing happened one night, and he started realizing that race does matter, okay? Another good example I love to do, if anybody ever watched the show, it's an old show, so I hope I'm not dating myself, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Okay, almost everyone. Okay. There's a character on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. His name is Carlton Banks. You laugh. Okay. Well, the thing about it is, if you laugh because you think about to do the Carlton dance, I'm sorry about disappoint you. But the thing about it is this. Throughout the whole show, for the most part, Carlton is going through what I would call a pre-encounter stage, right? Where he doesn't see race as being an issue. But the episode I'm going to talk about is the episode that him and Will was hired by his boss's partner to drive their Mercedes to Nevada, right? And so they're driving the Mercedes to Nevada, and the police pulls him over, and he questions him and locks him up. And so they finally get a phone call, and he calls his dad. His dad comes in, and Uncle Phil, he was a big guy, but Uncle Phil didn't play. So Uncle Phil laid down the law and let him know, you didn't read the Miranda rights, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. I had this jail cell locked out, and you'll be selling hot dogs on the freeway. So the guy said, okay, I'm going to let him out. So at the end, when they're getting ready to leave, Carlton looks up to his dad and say, but if we were white, the police officer would have stopped us too, right? And then the show fades to black. That's what I'm talking about with the encounter stage. All of a sudden, you start realizing race might have an issue, right? So if we were doing this linear, immersion. Immersion is the stage where it's kind of like, just like my lovely assistant, I wish she was up here to point it out, but pre-encounter and immersion is almost like the direct opposite, okay? Here, they're pro-dominant society, anti-their own society. Here's like the complete opposite. They're like, whoo. Have anyone ever read the book, The Autobiography of Malcolm X? The Autobiography of Malcolm X is a perfect example of all these stages. When Malcolm X got released from prison, he joined the Nation of Islam. And when he joined the Nation of Islam, he was so anti-white. He was so anti-white that he scared a lot of people, right? He scared a lot of people, right? But the thing about it is this. not only was he anti-white, he was against anybody who didn't think like him. So he was calling people like Martin Luther King handkerchief heads and sellouts because they didn't think like them. So when you find a person at the emergent stage, it's like they're so engulfed into their culture that if you don't think like them, you a sellout. So it's not only that they're against dominant society, they're against you because you don't think like them. So they'll go to you and be like, yo, sister, look here, I've been noticing you've been hanging around with all these other people. You know, they don't look like us. You a sellout, right? Just because you hang out with people, right? That's how they are. So if you don't have the same mentality as them, they gonna hurt you. They say, hey, I think we all need to get together and collaborate all our money and go out there and just do it for ourselves. And you say, no, I don't think so. Look at this Uncle Tom. Right? That's what they'll do. Then what's usually happening is the internalization stage. What the internalization stage is this. They come to the realization that not only is their ethnicity, their culture, their race is good, but so is everyone else's. They come to the realization that different does not mean inferior superiority. It just means different. So it's just as important, right? So with the students that you might see, and some of your colleagues, you might see them going through these stages. Matter of fact, it can happen in a course of like 2 minutes. Y'all laughing, but it's true. It go fast. Now let's get to racial microaggressions. Passing out handout. Never come to a presentation without a handout. Okay. Now, one of the things I hate to do is read to people when I'm doing a presentation, right? Now, another thing I hate to do is stand still. So if you get dizzy, don't look directly at me. Okay? The thing about it is this. Racial microaggressions are commonplace communications, whether they're behavioral or verbal, that says, in a nutshell, that there's an issue with your race. Now, the thing about it is, the ones we're going to talk about today are racial microaggressions. Excuse me, but microaggressions are universal. There could be gender microaggressions, sexual orientation microaggressions, right? Because see, the thing about it is this. I look around here and I see a lot of sisters in here. Excuse me if I'm calling you sisters. What? Y'all sisters. We all family. The thing about it is this. A lot of the sisters do the same job as their brother counterpart and get paid less. Right? Even worse, a lot of times you feel pressure because you wonder, can you even have your family? Do you have to put your family on hold? Those are gender microaggressions.